What is going on, beautiful people? It is BetSam, and we have upgraded from the McDonald's in the Gold Coast. We are now in a hotel room here, also still in the Gold Coast. So the lighting is a little bit whack, and the acoustics might be awful as well. But, we are here to give you the full card breakdown, predictions, and more for UFC Fight Night, Cannonier versus Rodrigues. And I'm just going to say it right now. The official bout order for this is kind of all mumbled and jumbled. I'm doing it as it was originally released. And I'm missing one slide as well, so shoot me for that one. That is Jose Delgado taking on Conor Matthews. It is opening up the main card as of the UFC official website. And I am picking Jose Delgado, but I haven't gone back and rewatched the tape study on that one. So I'm not going to waste my time trying to give you too severe of a pick. But I think Delgado can get it done. Anyway, this was listed as the opener, but I think it's going to get pushed up in the bout order. We have Gabriel Bonfim taking on Khaos Williams. And Gabriel Bonfim, guys, he's at a minus 220 favorite right now. He's fighting on this card with his brother. The Bonfim brothers are back in action. And this dude is 16-1, and that one blemish was in a fight where he kind of death-gassed, I want to say, against Nicholas Dalby. And Nicholas Dalby can kind of do that to people. His pace is kind of unbreakable, and he seemed to break Gabriel Bonfim in there. But I think Gabriel Bonfim has learned from that. We've seen him bounce back against Ange Lusa with a unanimous decision victory. And here he takes on a little bit more dangerous competition than Ange Lusa. He's taking on Khaos Williams. And Khaos Williams is a real estate agent. That's not, he's a UFC fighter as well. But this dude is out here selling houses. He got the Aya Quinta special. He's probably smiling over there on a billboard somewhere. But he has hella power. He likes to walk people down. He's got good low kicks. And he's honestly kind of just a bit of a destroyer. His takedown defense does sit at 80%. However, he can be taken down if your shot is well timed and it is a true takedown attempt rather than a body lock or a trip. In this matchup here, Khaos Williams is going to want to walk forward. He's going to try and be the Terminator here. But I think against Gabriel Bonfim, Bonfim is a very technical striker with crisp boxing and good takedowns. And I think even if this was a pure boxing/striking matchup, I still favor Gabriel Bonfim because his clean boxing technique should be able to get the better of Khaos Williams. I mean, we saw Rolando Bedoya be competitive against Khaos Williams, and we know that Gabriel Bonfim, a lot bigger frame, a lot more muscular, a lot more powerful. And while people have talked about cardio concerns, I really do favor him in this matchup because I think in the striking, he has an advantage as far as technique goes and boxing defense. And then in the grappling, it should be worlds apart. I think that if Gabriel Bonfim can get Khaos Williams down a couple of times, the energy transfer there will be all over him. So I'm taking Gabriel Bonfim. I do have a bet on him, and if you want to check that out, you can become a premium member to We Want Picks. There is a link in the description of this video, as well as signing up using code BetSam to get that as well. Then we have Jacqueline Cavalcante taking on Julia Avila. And this is Julia Avila, the raging panda with the gray streak through her hair. And Jacqueline Cavalcante is a young prospect here, 27 years old, taking on an older veteran, you could say, at 36 years old. Ultimately, it's just going to come down to this. Jacqueline Cavalcante is better almost everywhere against Julia Avila, and Julia Avila is old and not on a hot streak. So I'm going to take Cavalcante here, and I'm going to be playing her inside the distance as well. And, I just think that she should be able to find a finish against this older, savvy veteran who is on her way out the door, if you will. I really do just favor the youth here, the strength of schedule, and the career trajectory. Ultimately, all of the signs lead towards Jacqueline Cavalcante. Then we have Volta Walker returning against Don'Tale Mayes. And I'll let you guys know right now, when I bet on Volta Walker in his last fight, I expected him to go out there and get the win, and he did. But he also had a small amount of striking exchanges against Taffa, and they didn't look good, man. They did not look good. Volta Walker's striking is fucking atrocious. His striking defense is terrible. So in this matchup here, while I think that he can defeat Don'Tale Mayes, I think I'm going to look more towards a prop rather than just taking his money line here because while Don'Tale Mayes, can be taken down, I think that Volta Walker also has a lot of holes that could be exploited by Don'Tale Mayes. Ultimately, though, I do favor, the takedown capabilities and submission danger of Volta Walker. So I'm taking Volta Walker, and I'm probably going to play him by submission. Then we have Elijah Smith taking on Vince Morales. And if you guys haven't already seen, Elijah Smith is my slam of the week. He is my most confident pick on this entire card. And that really does come down to his abilities and not so much Vince Morales. I really have been impressed with what Elijah Smith has to offer. And he fought Aaron Toe on the Contender Series, and that was a war in which he dominated the first 2 rounds of that fight and then survived the third. And I will say survived, even though he was very much in that fight as well. But there was a moment where he started to fade, and Aaron Toe was still there, swinging big, swinging heavy, and looking to take him out of there. And, he didn't just crumble away. He didn't fade. He kept shooting takedowns, and then he eventually bit down on his mouthpiece and just kept trading as well. Elijah Smith has a pretty good chin, although it's been cracked one time by Reyes Cortez. It was in the third round of a fight that was going long there. He ultimately, can take shots. He's 22 years old. He's got a phenomenal frame. This is a lifelong athlete and a second-generation UFC fighter. And he's taking on Vince Morales. Vince Morales, this is his second time in the UFC. He wasn't good enough the first time, and he's failed his first hurdle in his second tenure inside the UFC here. So I'm really just fading him, and I'm high on Elijah Smith. Put the two together. I'm all over Elijah Smith here, and I think that he can get the better of Vince Morales, both with his striking speed and his power. I think he can light him up. Taylor Lapilus, bit of a decisionator. He was lighting up Vince Morales as well, but I think Elijah Smith is going to get it done with heftier power. So give me Elijah Smith to win this fight by KO or decision. Then we have Jared Gordon taking on Mashraban Ruziboev. And I've been told this is Ruziboev's younger brother, who is already rostered onto the UFC. And if that's true, I'm excited. Listen, I looked at this guy's record. I haven't seen any tape whatsoever. And this dude is a finisher through and through. So here's what I'm going to say. He hasn't been finished by KO before. And Jared Gordon isn't a big sub guy. So ultimately, I think the value here is going to be on Ruziboev inside the distance, decision, no action. So I don't have odds for that play yet right now, but that's probably where I'm going to put my betting money. As for my pick, I am going to go with Jared Gordon just because he's tried and true. And sometimes I'm impressed with him, man. I don't really think he's a world beater, but sometimes he goes out there and puts beatings on people that I think are pretty good. So, his performance against Paddy Pimblett is notorious. He won that fight. We all know he won that fight and got robbed there. So we'll see. I think Jared Gordon is a big first debut to fight on, but he's not as dangerous as some other people. And so perhaps Ruziboev could catch him with something here, either via KO or submission. Then we have Rafael Estevam taking on Jesus Aguilar. And listen, if the odds were a little bit closer here, this could have been considered as Slam of the Week, but Rafael Estevam just a little bit too much of a favorite for me to want to, really hit that slam on. Ultimately, I am going to be playing him inside the distance, and if you want to see where that prop is, check in the pinned link in the description of this video. I will have a link to sign up to We Want Picks Premium. You can use code BetSam for that as well. Rafael Estevam should be able to get the better of the grappling exchanges, should be able to avoid that nasty guillotine of Jesus Aguilar. Ultimately, though, where I do think he could find success is with his striking. I think that Jesus Aguilar is obviously a lot shorter. He winds up on his shots very big. So if Rafael Estevam can either, take him down, unleash ground and pound, or stand at distance and trade, I like him in both of the spots there. So give me Rafael Estevam to win this matchup. Then we have Angela Hill versus Katlyn Souza. And these odds here in front of you, minus 136 to plus 116, they're gone. They're now picking. These girls, it is a coin toss as to who's going to win. And, you see 40 years old for Angela Hill and 30 years old for Katlyn Souza, and you immediately go, well, Katlyn Souza's got a lot of KO wins as well. I think that is going to work against her here. I think that she's going to think she's going to be able to bully Angela Hill and KO her and get in her face. And I don't think she's going to be able to do it, man. I'm going to favor the activity of old girl Angela Hill here. I think she can get it done by decision. Honestly, just it comes down to more that in this weight division, I really don't think that any of them carry a lot of power. So I see Angela Hill not getting finished, not getting dropped, and being able to get her own offense going and her own strike count going. It's a numbers game. When you're not able to drop people and cut them and hurt them, it's what are you seeing? And if she can throw more out there, which she's known to do, I think she can win potentially a split decision here against Katlyn Souza. Then we have Rodolfo Vieira taking on Andre Petroski. This is a bit of a dog shot for me here, but I think that Rodolfo Vieira really succeeds against strikers that are not good defensively against submissions. Andre Petroski is a strong grappler and strong wrestler, and I could see him taking down Rodolfo Vieira on repeat here to get himself a decision victory. And that's where I'm going to lean with this one. We've seen Rodolfo Vieira be taken down before by other people, and I think that Andre Petroski can lean on the takedowns, be a little bit boring, rack up control time, stay safe in the striking as well, and win himself a unanimous decision victory here, and that's how I'll be playing that one. Then we've got Ismail Bonfim taking on Nazim Sadykhov. Listen, guys, Ismail Bonfim, he's a pretty impressive fighter here, but ultimately his last performance was very lackluster. Not being able to finish Vince Pichel really leads me to believe that perhaps these odds are a little bit wide for him here. Nazim Sadykhov on the other side, bit of an overachiever, other than not being able to get the nod against Vyacheslav Borchev, being ended in a draw there, he has looked very impressive inside of the UFC. So both of these guys kind of impressive, but haven't been able to put a stamp on it. I think I'm just going to let myself just ride this one off, just watch and see who emerges victorious and who is more impressive. Ultimately, it's not always about betting on every single fight. I am going to pick Ismail Bonfim, but at these odds, I don't think you should be laying the money down on the chalk. Then we've got Edmund Shahbazyan taking on Dylan Budka. Guys, this is a very unexpected one for myself as well, but going into watching the tape setting on this one, I expected to take Edmund Shahbazyan by KO, and I really just, after you go and you watch him on all the times he fails, it really starts to look a little bit ugly. When this dude doesn't get going, it really unravels quickly. And while Dylan Budka doesn't always show up and be a world beater, in fact, he's coming off a couple of losses back to back, I think that he has decent cardio and decent striking, and that honestly could be enough to beat Edmund Shahbazyan. Edmund Shahbazyan isn't who I wanted him to be. I've been watching this sport for quite a long time now, and Shahbazyan, he was supposed to be somebody in the UFC, and he isn't who we wanted him to be. The Golden Boy perhaps isn't the best fighting name here for him, but Mindless Hulk, Dylan Budka, I'm going to take him to win this fight by unanimous decision, taking over in rounds 2 and 3. Then we have Kelvin Kattar taking on Youssef Zalal. I'm a big Youssef Zalal believer. I'll start that off right now. I still don't really understand how he's got to a minus 405 favorite. I looked at this card and I looked in advance and I thought who was going to be my slam of the week. The odds came out. Youssef Zalal was already wiped off the planet as far as the betting equity going on him. So I think that, Youssef Zalal is the pick, and I would like to play him again by submission because I keep hammering that, but at the back of my mind, I just keep thinking about how Aljamain Sterling wasn't able to submit Kelvin Kattar despite being able to out-grapple him pretty handedly. And so I'm kind of just going to stay clear. I will be parlaying Youssef Zalal, but outside of that, I think I'm just going to leave it alone. Youssef Zalal is going to be the pick. I'd like to see him get it done with the hands, actually. Whether that's by a unanimous decision victory or a knockdown into a submission or just a outright KO. But I'd like to see Youssef Zalal test his hands here. Kelvin Kattar hasn't looked as dangerous as he had in the past. So perhaps Youssef Zalal, let him see how his middle's looking. Let him see how that boxing's looking, and get some kicks going, and let's see the hands work, because I think he can do good work here. A lot of people are going to say, well, Kelvin Kattar is this amazing boxer. I don't think he's the same man that we're used to seeing in the past. 36 years old, taking a lot of damage. We'll see. In the main event, we have Jared Cannonier taking on Gregory Rodrigues. Listen, Jared the Killer Gorilla taking on Gregory Robocop Rodrigues. Listen, Jared Cannonier, 40 years old. That is old, man. That is so old. And he's coming off 2 finished losses. And you might be going, well, he just lost by decision. No, he didn't. There was a finished loss. They just didn't really count the finish. 2 finished losses here for Jared Cannonier. I'm still picking him. Still picking him as the underdog opportunity because I think his chin still seems to hold up. It's not like we've seen this dude go face planting down. He gets wobbled, but he doesn't quit on himself. He hits hard as shit. He's an accurate striker, and he's a physical fucking specimen. He's come down from heavyweight. He went to light heavyweight. Now he's at middleweight. I think against Gregory Rodrigues here, a lot of people are just thinking that because Gregory's big as well, he's going to just Terminator his way through. I think Jared Cannonier is going to crack him on the way in, and I think that Gregory Rodrigues' third eye, that scar tissue that we've seen twice now open up bad, is going to come flooding open like the gates of hell. It's going to pour blood, and they're going to stop the fight in between rounds. That is genuinely how I see this going. Jared Cannonier is too strong to just be held down and submitted, and I think that he is too veteran to be finished within 2 rounds. So I'm going Jared Cannonier. I think he wins this fight by finish, either by doctor stoppage or outright KO. Give me the killer gorilla, Jared Cannonier, to get it done. That is the breakdown. Become a premium member today to support your boy and to unlock all the bets, the round line lanes, the picks, and more. We want Picks Premium. The link is in the description. Sign up using code BetSam, and I will see you all in the next one.